each and every one of you. I welcome Mr. Srikanth Kaundinya. Amidst of his busy schedule, he is coming forward to help our students out, and also welcome Mr. Vikram Paul, our alumni, and my dear student, I have to proudly say. And he is in a very good position now, so happy to see him. And he is coming forward to help our students, the budding, managers of today's batch, and also our Manukiran alumni has a very good stint with Deloitte and PwC. So we are getting 3 different vertical here, and they're going to support my students today on all the queries and doubts. Once again, I welcome you all. Over to you, Ms. Neha and Mr. Harish Gowda, the student executives of today.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. A career in finance is not all about money, though it starts there. For the management graduate, earning a degree is just the beginning. What's left is to take a closer look at the available career opportunities and then decide which industry sectors have the greatest need for new professionals. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the Career Guide event of the semester. I thank all the honorable guest faculty, students, and other Management Institute participants attending today's webinar. On behalf of the Department of Management Studies, the Anand Sagar College of Engineering, I, Neha, and my co-host Harish welcome you all to the online webinar on career opportunities in finance.
Thank you, Neha. I would like to now introduce our first speaker of today, Mr. Srikanth Kaundinya. He is a fellow chartered management accountant and a chartered global management accountant. He is an experienced vice president of market development with a demonstrated history of working in the commodity market industry. He is skilled in commodity derivative markets, currency, and capital markets, and has also been a strong consulting professional. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We have our second speaker, Mr. Vikram Paul, Director of Lemark Agromod India and Global Head of Financial Planning and Analysis. He is an experienced manager with a demonstrated history of working in the food production industry. He has prior experience in Cargill and Oracle, to name a couple, assuming roles such as Finance Global Data Specialist and Lead Analyst, Financial Planning and Analysis. He holds a master's degree in Business Administration specializing in finance and systems from the Anand Sagar institutions, and has completed Financial Data Analytics in Financial Analytics from Indian Institute of Management, Kashimpur. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have with us Mr. Manukiran BN, Assistant Manager at BDO RISE, who is an alumnus of Department of Management Studies, the Anand Sagar College of Engineering, batch 2015-17. He has previously worked as a senior associate for PwC and as tax associate for Deloitte Consulting. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I request Srikanth sir to share his experience and thoughts in the field of finance and commodity market.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Okay. I'm not sure for how long I can speak, so you'll have to stop me sometime. Okay. And I won't mind. All right. And then so that we have more questions at the end, and also we have adequate time for the other speakers as well. Right. So where do I start? Okay. See, like I just now said earlier, that I'm basically a chartered accountant, but I'm in education. Okay. So as an exchange, we are an exchange, and we have got this kind of a mandate to educate the market. And earlier, I think Mr. Vikram Paul did say that people are not aware of the commodity markets. And that's the reason is about the awareness is not adequate. Now, when we talk about the commodity markets, we need to make people aware as to what the exchange is about and how it is different from the stock markets. But how did I end up here? That's the question now. The thing is, in your career, and now I'm going to address the students here, you will have lots of opportunities and you have to make a story out of it. And that story is going to be your career story. Now, you will end up doing all kinds of different work, but you must learn to string it. In other words, at the end of the day, you should be able to fall back on something that you have done in the past, and it should have some meaningful experience and knowledge that you have gained along the way. Now, as far as education is concerned, we are learning all the time. So even today, when I'm almost towards the fag end of my career, I'm still learning. Okay, so you can never say that I've stopped learning, because the markets are very dynamic, and especially the financial markets, very dynamic. Things are changing, and I'll give you some examples as towards the end of my talk. But things are moving very rapidly, and you have to keep up all the time. You don't keep up with information flow, you are lost. Okay, and when I'm talking about keeping in touch with information flow, you also need to decipher what is relevant and what is not. I started my career as a chartered accountant in audit, okay, where you basically looking at what has already happened. Okay, so end of the day, you go and see how the company has performed. You try and see how they could have done better, and you see if they made any errors, and you guide them accordingly. So that is one type of work that you do when you are looking at the end of it. That means when everything is over. And then there is one more where you are looking at business as it is going on. That means you are in the deep end of it. Okay, and you're looking at the deep end, and you're trying to strive to do better and better, and you want to do some work which will help you in your personal life, and also it'll help the business. It could be yours, or you could be working for someone. The third one is when you look at employment or work as a strategist, where you're looking ahead and you're trying to see where the pitfalls might occur in the future, and then you take positions according to that. Yeah. Now, the with experience, you will learn to put all of them together. Okay, so you cannot say that I'm only doing this or that. At the end of the day, you will be in a position where you can look back and see what has gone wrong. You can look at what you're doing right now, and you can add the two, and you can look ahead. Okay, now the market in which I am, many of you might think that it is a stock market, and yes, commodity markets are stock markets because they report to the same regulator, which is SEBI. Okay, now most people who associate with a commodity market, they feel that this is a place where I can just pick up a mobile or on a laptop, and I can buy a contract, sell a contract, and I can trade and try and make some money. But the point of the matter is, you might be happy with a bit of money coming in, or you might lose a bit of money, but by the end of the day, that will never give you satisfaction from an employment point of view, because buying and selling of contracts, or buying and selling of shares on the NSE or BSE, that even a 10th standard guy, that means someone who's got education up to 10th standard, can do. Once you have got the level of education that you have now, you have to strive to move to a next level. Trading should only be an addition to what you're actually trying to do. Now, when you talk on commodity markets, so what are commodities? So I can make this little story here. See, when you wake up in the morning, okay, when you brush your teeth, you might use a toothpaste which has got a mint flavor. Now that mint comes from something called mentha oil. Now it sounds very complex, but it is not. It is your pudina, which you make chutney out of that. Yeah, India is the largest exporter. It's grown massively in Uttar Pradesh in India. We're the largest exporter. You can't have a polo mint without mentha oil. Okay, so any chocolates that you eat which has got a mint flavor, just remember that it's coming from mentha oil. Then after you have brushed your teeth, assuming you like mentha flavor, you have a breakfast which might be hot. And if you have heated it, there's a good chance you have used natural gas, or you might be using some electric thing to warm it, warm your food. These are all commodities. Whatever you're eating, it could be from the agri segment, and I'm sure those are the other speakers who are coming from the agro industry will talk more about that. But that again, that food that you eat, okay, is a commodity. okay, which is tradable commodity. Lots of people work in that particular segment, the agro segment or the agri segment. Yeah, many commodities are agriculture commodities are imported as well. And then if you are traveling to your school or you're to work, you might be using a vehicle which has been built using metals like zinc, lead batteries, aluminium, copper, nickel. Yeah. So, and then that vehicle that you're moving in would be run on either on gas or again on petrol or diesel. Okay. So there again, you're coming in back to commodities. The point I'm trying to say here is that we are always connected with commodities. The clothes we wear is cotton. The jewelry we wear is either the bullion segment, the gold and silver. So basically, our life revolves around commodities. Now, I've just explained to you what commodities are. Now, when you talk about employment, now there is huge amount of trading that takes place in these commodities. You might have seen during the pandemic and also now during the problems that we are facing in the global markets because of the Ukrainian conflict. You have seen commodity prices going haywire. Yeah. And then basically you're looking at supply chains. You're trying to see where the commodities are coming from. There are lots of importers who are getting stuck. They're not able to import. There are a lot of people who are in the export business cannot sell because some people might not have the money. There are economies which seem to be collapsing. There are people who have no money. I'm talking about internationally. So you are basically looking for employment. You have to look ahead. Will I be associated with an employment where the business I'm in is flexible enough to change and offer something different when the environment changes, or am I stuck with a particular area whereby I will not be able to extract myself from a situation which is not my creation, which is a creation of the environment. Okay, so whatever you do, you have to look at it and holistically and see what you're doing. Okay, now I explained to you what commodities are. I've explained to you what is happening in a little bit about what happened in the international markets. But the bottom line is something called risk. Okay, whatever you do in life, it all trickles down to risk. It is the biggest and largest word in finance. Okay, it's a big industry. You go to any library and you say risk, and you will find volumes of books on risk. And even the commodity exchange is built on two pillars. One is price discovery, and the other one is price risk management. That means I'm trying to manage risk, and this area employs lots of people. Now, when I'm talking about risk management, it is about how I can procure a commodity whereby the bottom line of my company, that is the profit, does not get impacted very badly if I have to buy a commodity at a different price. Now, I'm sure you have studied a bit of accounting, cost accounting. In cost accounting, we normally talk about labor, overheads, and raw materials. Now, when you talk about raw materials, we're talking about commodity markets, okay? And if you can manage raw material cost, then you're almost taken care of everything else, okay? It is very important that you take care of that particular cost, raw materials. So the commodity markets, they're built on two pillars. One is risk management and one is price discovery. And you'll be surprised and amazed that almost 85% of commodities in the world are priced in US dollars. So we, sitting in India, are looking at prices which are being discovered in international markets. So if you look at you look at CNBC television or any of the, ET Now, any of the business channels, you will find that the prices of commodities are being shown at the bottom in many times in US dollars, or they're quoting prices of commodities from international markets. So they can be a crude oil, a Brent crude, or it can be the base metal like zinc, aluminium, copper, nickel. They'll be quoting, you'll get the quote in dollars, converted into rupees, because the trading takes place in rupees in India. When I have set up a business in India, I am impacted by the price which is in Indian rupees. Okay. And hence I have to understand the currency markets as well. Now, when you talk about risk, trying to manage risk, you have to move into an area where you can buy in the future. So if I'm buying in the future, someone is selling in the future as well. So how do I buy and sell in the future? I can do that using something called derivative instruments. So we have derivative instruments like options and futures, which allow you to buy in the future and you can sell in the future. And you're not limited to India. You have 86 commodity exchanges worldwide. So if I want to see what the price of crude oil is, then I can see, is it Brent crude oil is one variety of crude oil, or it could be the WTI or the American variety of crude oil. These are the benchmark crude oils which determine the prices around the world. Okay, so I can look at NYMEX, New York Mercantile Exchange for WTI. I can look at ICE Exchange. Now, as students, all you got to do is you just see commodity exchanges on Google and you'll get a whole list of exchanges and you'll see where these commodity prices are coming from. And you will be amazed that here in India, those who trade on the commodity exchanges, they'll keep one eye on what is happening in international markets, convert it at the rupee exchange rate. Now, who can do all this? You have to have a financial background and you're in a perfect place for that. And hence you can move into advisory roles, consultancy roles, hedging strategies you can develop because you have an understanding of different asset classes. So whether you are giving consultancy to somebody in the stock market, that is your capital market, or you're trying to help someone to borrow money in the debt market, or someone who's got additional money who wants to lend in the debt market, that's again a massive place to be. In addition, you have, of course, the currency market, one of the huge markets, and then finally we come down to the commodity markets. So you have all this coming together and it provides huge kind of employment. So when I look at where can you get employed in a commodity market? So I can...
Shrikant sir, so we will take up that as a question.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
interrupting. So we will listen from other two speakers as well. Then we have a specific question to you. Our students will ask you.
Right. So
I'm sorry.
No problems. I in fact told you right at the outset that do stop me. I'm a speaker, and once I get going, so I need someone to ring the bell. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So let's go to the next speaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Students, you can continue.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was very informative. Now I request Mr. Vikram sir to share his experience as a head of financial planning and analysis. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. I think I'll be able to give you some of the advice and some of the experiences that I have gained in last 15, 16 years. And my LinkedIn profile is not updated. I joined a company called Mobilian as a director of finance. I joined on last Monday, so I didn't get a time to go and update that. So if you remember how Shrikant was explaining us, the choosing an industry is very important. I spent almost 8.5 years in food industry. And that's how I got to know about the commodity market. I got to know about the supply chain. I got to know about how the import-export happen. I got to know about currency variations, currency market, everything. I learned in 8.5 years. The question is why I jumped. And if you remember the same discussion that Shrikant was explaining, how the commodity markets are affecting due to economic background, due to COVID, due to Ukraine war, China lockdown, there are many external factors which came into a place. There is no banks or financing for the trade. There are many banks has closed down in Europe and Americas. So that is the only reason that I thought this is not an industry that I like to continue. And I jumped into a company called Mobilian. Now, why Mobilian? Because Mobilian is a company who was in telecom technology space, one of the monopoly business they have in whole world. And you have seen how the telecom businesses has grown last 2-3 years, and mainly after COVID. And we are coming out with the 5G, and there are many technologies are coming in telecom space. So why I'm explaining this? Just to tell you guys that choosing industry is very important. and also keep you posted or keep you updated about what's going on in the industry is also very important. And make each and every people has to be diversified so that when the situations comes, you can jump in. Like for me, I jump from food to telecom. If something goes wrong with telecom, probably I'll go back to food, or probably I'll go back to audit industry, or I'll go back to IT industry. So I have to be diversified into jumping into one industry to one another industry. Learning is the everyday is learning. I learn every day. If you see that my certifications, list of certification, what's is there in the LinkedIn, or there are many things that I did not post. Every 2 months, I complete one certification. So currently I'm doing blockchain, which is the cryptocurrencies. If you heard about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins, Ethereum and all. So that is the next booming that I am predicting for the futures, and also the world is predicting. So I want to make sure that I am one of them. When the industry start booming, I am one of them who can jump into that industry. So this is the way everyone has to be updated, and also everyone has to be followed, all the news channels, all the papers, everything. Not only India, not only Karnataka, Delhi, what's happening in politics, also what's happening in US politics, what's happening in China, what's happening in Ukraine. So there are many things comes in the picture in the industry. So I request everyone to spend some time to keep updating about what's happening in the world, and also keep updating your skill sets, educations, everything. So whatever the time permits, however time permits. Now coming to finance, right? So I'm not sure how many people as you guys have done the scuba diving. I did. It is really interesting. Please do so if you're not fear about the water. So as soon as you go down in the water, you'll see tons of fishes, all varieties of fishes. Same with the finance industry. It's huge, huge, and huge. You cannot say I'm a finance professional. You have to say which type of finance you're professional. You are a risk specialist. You are a exchange specialist like commodity, stock market, arbitrager, hedger. You have to say you are financial analysis specialist. You have to say you are accountant, you are auditor. There are blah, blah, blah. I can say around 50 names in the finance industry where people has to be specialized in. So look back your educations, look back your interest, look back your hobbies, look back your strength, and then write down what finance specialist you want to be. Don't keep it open that I'm open for anything. No, that will not lead you anywhere. And because employment is the growth, you have to survive in the industry for decades. I think if you are a fresh MBA graduate, you should be around 25 years of age. That means till 60, you have to survive in the industry. So sustainable also is the picture. You cannot do any work that you are not interested in. You have to do the work which you are interested in. Financial planning analysis, it's a number game. You have to be too good with the numbers. I learned from my dad because my dad is a businessman, and we are from the business family. So we know the number in and out. I still call my suppliers and ask for the payment check and all, because I remember those numbers. And that's how I developed the numbers. I see the numbers every day. And there is financial industry is also growing and also becoming technical. And now we call it as a techno finance. There is no finance right now. It's become a techno finance. You have to be good in technologies. Like I recently learned Tableau, recently learned Power BI, which actually helping me to analyze my reports, and also making some of the statistical tools, statistical analysis, predictive analysis. So there are many things in financial planning analysis side, which will make you specialized in this sector what I choose for. There are many things I learned, but I never worked on. But I worked on only financial planning and industry since I started my career. First year, I was in a little bit of accounts and finance end to end. Then I showed my interest in this area and I started going. And that is how my journey is. And probably I'll stop here and request you to ask me a question.
Thank you, sir. We are happy to inform at this stage, Mr. Manukiran has moved across cross-sectional teams and doing great. Mr. Manu, what do you attribute to your success? And can you tell us about your journey when you were a part of Department of Management Studies?
Hi guys, my name is Manu here. So I don't tell as a success. So basically I can tell it's a journey, okay? So it's more of a journey what I faced, okay? So my attributes for success maybe for a journey is commitment. One is commitment and one is no, don't miss opportunities. And the last is always don't get settled, okay? Always keep moving. Don't be the comfortable zone, okay? So that's how it started, okay? So for example, commitment means don't like always be in commitment, okay? Just don't do anything, okay? Whatever you do, make sure that you are 100% giving. Any task, okay? Make sure you do 100% of everything what you do, okay? And opportunities, okay? Any of the chance you get, please don't miss, okay? So if what happened is for me after passing out from MBA, I was looking for jobs, okay? So I got job in Deloitte. First thing is there's campus selection. I actually missed it. Then I got a mail from Deloitte telling that will you be interested? But I was thinking, why Deloitte? Why should I go to Hyderabad? I'm Bangalorean, so I can't be in Bangalore. I got a job in Delhi. That was more of a data analytics. I think I didn't like it. Doing data analytics was not my cup of tea. Okay. Then I decided to go to Hyderabad. People started taunting me, why Hyderabad? You're from Bangalorean, so you're most settled in Bangalore. Why you want to go to Hyderabad? Then when I went to Hyderabad, it was a different thing. I met many people, around different people, like different set of people who are keen to open up everything. So there I experienced most of things, like many people, I learned many things from other people from Kerala, but everyone were there. So there was more of understanding from them. Then post that I went to PwC, I worked for 3 years. Then I'm back to BDO as a system manager. So moreover, it was all of experience what I gained from them. So I learned most of things like real estate engagements, private equity. So all this comes by our experience. So don't miss out any of the opportunity you get. Okay, and always don't be in a comfort zone. Okay, so that's why, as I told, I got a chance in Dell. I got some 20,000 salary. So I was like, okay, let me survive the salary. But I was thinking, why should I settle for this when I have done MBA? Why should I not go behind what I can do? Then I went to Deloitte. I got good salary. I went into PwC with good hike. I got like more hike. Then I got this chance after 3 years of more dedication, of 5 years of US taxation. So I learned a lot of things. I learned partnership taxation, corporation taxation, state taxations. All this throughout this journey, I learned a lot of things. Then I got a chance in BDO. So it's newly started company. We got a good managers and senior managers over there. So they pulled me out, telling that this is a good opportunity here. Come and join us. So here I'm with BDO. I'm with BDO. I have a call with partners every day and the clients every day. So it's more of exposure what I'm seeing here. So always keep this commitment and don't lose out any opportunities, and always be ready to not settle. Okay, always be open and always look for challenges more. That's what I could tell. And coming to our education purpose, when I joined MBA, I was like just a degree guy. I didn't know anything. So when I came to college, it was like more of PPTs. I was like PPT. I never done any PPTs in my life. So it was more of challenging. So I got a chance to be a CR. CR, I didn't know what is CR first of all. Then when I experienced CR, okay, it was more challenging to me. I met many people. I have a lot of people out there that my friends. I set a group of people who are my friends. So they had same wavelength of mine. So I met them, and their interactions with what my interactions. We also come up with many of the events like Chanakya, Gestion, or Avega. These kind of activities actually help me to manage my team, to manage all my skills in my company. So now I have around 6 to 10 people of my associates, or also CAs and also MBA people. So all these throughout the college, what I learned and subject what I learned, and throughout how I manage things, that actually helped me to what I am actually. So all thanks to DSI.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey with us. Shrikant, sir, I have a question for you. Every finance student currently is afraid of technology overtaking many finance jobs. How would you look at this scenario, and also suggest to us the opportunities in risk management?
Okay. First of all, technology, when you say finance people are frightened of technology changing, believe me, the people in technology are also frightened of technology changing. Okay. And the point here is that we all have to just strive and see how we can move ahead. When you are working in a company, and whatever technology is being used within the company. You become familiar with that. And many times you'll be surprised that people are frightened to change jobs because they think that once they move to a new place, then they might be confronted. They'll have to confront a new kind of, a technology there. But you have to just keep telling yourself that if the guy next to me can do it, I can do it. And that is how you have to strive to learn and go ahead with whatever new things are happening. Other than that, you have to keep a lookout on what other your competitors are doing, and it's just a matter of time that if it is good, then it will be accepted and implemented within your own company, and in which case you have to try and see where you can reach out and get that particular experience. I remember many years ago, we were frightened of SAP because SAP came into companies. Okay, so the company where I am now, our accounts department and all our departments, they use SAP, and that is an ERP. Now, I have done SAP many years ago, but not as a user. Now, the point is, then you need someone has to give you training. So when new people join our company, we normally ask, do you know any ERP? Do you know SAP? And if they say yes, then it is a tick. I say, okay, otherwise they have to undergo a little bit of training with a day's or 2 days training on the desk. So it is not such a concern anymore. It is not like someone is coming into technology, from scratch. People these days are very well aware, and they're much more open to accepting changes. And we have never had any concern regarding technology, whether it's in finance or with any other field. We do, of course, just more than, we want people, because there are so many tools which are there, and you'll be surprised. Even if you take something as simple as Excel, you will find that an average person will probably know only about, say, 40-50% of the functions, and the rest of it you will never use in your life, or you may end up in a place where it is used rampantly. So I would always say that learn how to use how to manipulate, use big data. Okay, using tools which are there. Everybody has got the same tools. You need to see how you have to make the best use of the skills you have. If you think that you're lacking, and if you feel that you're lacking, it's a good feeling. Yeah. The worst thing that you can do is, like I think Manu had just said, the word he used was comfort. That comfort level is a bad thing. Never be in your comfort zone, because the minute you think I know it and I can handle it, then you're in big trouble. You have to always try and see what more you can add on. So when you come back to directly to your question, you have to strive to learn. You may have tools which you're using. You may not be using all of them. See what all things you can use and how you can look around you, what others are using, which are the functions they're using. Learn. The best teacher is your colleagues. Yeah. And you should be teaching them and they will be teaching you. We all learn together. Okay. Right. Thanks.
It was informative, sir. Thank you. I have a question for Mr. Vikram. Prediction is one key aspect everyone hates because there is always uncertainty involved at every step. But at every stage, company has to be run based on some beliefs, analytics, facts, etc. How should a student develop these key qualities, which are itself a key skill set? So let's listen to our speaker.
Okay. So I would like to know who hates the predictive analysis. Everybody hates predictive. Everybody wants to know about the future, right? We go to astrologer, show our hands and say, tell me what I'm going to be, how much money I'm going to earn. Everybody wants to know. So astrology also is science, and predictive analysis also is science. Predictive analysis, it's very much, I do every day. That's what I told in my introduction. Every company, right? Every company wants to see how they want to grow in next 5 years, 10 years. And predictive analysis, you have to decide in two factors. Some factors are internal, some factors are external. The external factor, we do not have any control, like COVID, what happened in Ukraine, what happened in China. What happened in Sri Lanka? We don't know. We cannot help it. Those are the external factors. Internal, the management change, strategy change, tools change, people change. There are many things happen. So those we can control and do the predictive analysis. So for the student who are interested in predictive analysis, there are two ways you can do predictive analysis. One, taking the historical data. You have seen what happened in last year, last to last year, and you do your predictive analysis. Sometimes what happens, you're starting a company or you are starting a startup. We call it a zero base. You do not have a base, what you have not seen. Then you have to analyze based on the internal and external factors. That's how the prediction analysis works for any company. And there are many factors, many things I probably cannot tell you. Probably it takes much longer time to explain and show the data and then explain how things works. But the skill set that the tools available in the market for predictive analysis is Tableau. Tableau is very good tools for predictive analysis. And there is a website called edx.org. I can type it. You guys can note it, edx.org. It's a great platform to learn anything you want to know. It's provided by various industry, various university all over the world. Learn Tableau, learn Power BI. Probably it will help you to do predictive analysis with the numbers that you have.
Thank you for the advice, sir. Mr. Manu?
Can I just come in here? Just
Yes.
It's a very interesting question. I like that question. I just wanted to just say that in the commodity industry, we have risk management. We have something called margin money, which is getting blocked based on historic data, what exactly Vikram said. That is, we use something called VAR, value at risk, where we use 100-day historical prices. And based on that, for every commodity, we know exactly how much a commodity price might vary on a day-to-day basis. And based on that, margins are calculated, which are blocked in the accounts of the trader. Now, why I'm just wanted to say this is that as students, you might be having statistics and you might be learning things like value at risk. This is a very important. They use this particular tool for predicting. There is also a software called SPAN software, which is a proprietary software of the CME group, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which even the banking industries in India and world over buy and use for predicting risk for not just individuals, but also for price movements. Okay, so if you have statistics, don't just learn it from the point of view of examination. Do know that this has practical applications in the real world. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I just interfere. I couldn't just resist myself to tell you that. Okay. Please go.
Sir, just to add on, we have that concept we have added in our derivative syllabus.
Okay.
So our finance students, they will study this value at risk, mark to margin calculation.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is all the, yeah, great.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Manu, what prerequisites does a student need to have that are essential for a financial company to hire them?
So that's what, before I tell all those things. So before 4 years, what was the competition for MBA graduates? Just a degree, like BCom or BBM people. So now it has completely changed. Okay. Now there is more money for India. Okay. We got more big clients. So all the big fours have got big clients. There are a lot of money flowing in for Indian US taxation and US taxation. Okay. So now we are competing with the CA, the chartered accountants. Okay. So we are competing with them. We have to have most of the skill set which they don't have. They are good with numbers, but trust me, they don't manage skills with what management like MBA we have. We have the management skills what that CS doesn't have that. So we can challenge them, but we need to have more of technical inputs. Like I can tell that advanced Excel can be one of the most important thing the MBA graduates should have, like all the basic and all the advanced. So he has to have completely on that. So when he has that skill, he can work on Outrix. Outrix something, it's a new software or new automations. So all these big four now need automations in order to reduce the more of what I tell daily works. So they need all these automations. Like Outrix can be a really good helpful software and a course where you can implement, you can learn this. And also Power BI.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Shrikant, sir, would you suggest students take certification courses and other professional courses before joining their career? Or would you suggest finance students join the company and learn as they climb up the ranks?
I see. The thing is, there are so many courses available. Okay. For starters, you need some certifications to make the entry into whichever career that you're getting into. Once you're in, then you have to learn. I think Vikram Paul very clearly said that, you have to learn all the time. Now, I, of course, don't have the time to do a lot of certification courses like Vikram does, but I wish I could. But you have to learn all the time. And it's no point in just picking up at random. You have to pick something that is relevant to the work you're doing, something that will add value to what you're doing. So if you're in a particular profession, or you wish to change your profession and move into something some new area, then you got to learn something of that area where that you go. Even within a company, if you're trying to look for a change, many times this happens where within a large concern, if you're working for a very large company and you're working in one particular department and you wish to move into some other department because you think it has got more potential or it is to your liking, and you think that you will not get a chance to move there unless you can prove that you may be able to do you may be able to do well in that area. In such circumstances, identify a program or a small short certification course which will help you. There's one more thing. If you are getting promoted, for example, or if you are moving into a new company, a new area, a new a project has come along, and you think that you are lacking in something, there's no harm in doing a small course. Certification, I'm not all for doing a certification course as long as you're getting the knowledge. See, the thing is, a certification program is good if you basically it gives you some sort of satisfaction that I've got this on my CV. But as long as you can put across what you have learned, that is what matters. Okay, when you go for a job, they'll just say, even if you say that I can do XYZ, no one these days asks you, can you prove it to me? Can you show me a certificate? Nobody says that. But if someone questions you on that, you should be able to very effectively answer and make the other person, the person who's questioning you, who's interviewing you, as long as you can convince him that I know this particular area, I can handle it. That is what matters. Okay. So coming back to your question, certifications, if you have the time, do it. There's no harm. Absolutely wonderful to add something new. Yeah. Should it be a certificate program? It's up to you. It could be. It'd be nice. It's a certificate program. Otherwise, the focus should be knowledge. I need knowledge, whichever source, wherever from. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I have a question for Vikram, sir. Financial analysis is often ignored by students, but is the real basis for any decision making. Can you brief students about it?
Sorry, I missed your question. I'm sorry.
Financial analysis is often ignored by students, but is the real basis for any decision making. Can you brief students about it?
Okay, I don't think so. Anyone ignores, probably they don't understand when we study, because nowhere is mentioned this part of the job is financial analysis. We only come to know when we join the industry that what type of finance or what type of works comes under financial planning analysis. See, financial planning analysis is you want to analyze, right? Finance. So what do you want to analyze? There is only three aspects to analyze. One is the balance sheets, one is a P&L, one is the cash flow. And you have to prepare your budget and forecast. This is the most five important things is financial planning analysis team. What they do, it's some company has 200 people, some company has 50, some company has 10, some company. When I was at Oracle had around 375 people doing FP&A. So so it depends how many regions they covered and how many works they do. But ultimately, they do only this analysis: balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, what I did, budget and forecast. So this is the five factors that comes under financial analysis. So we have to be very good with accounts, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to understand how the balance sheets, accounts movements happens. You won't be able to understand how P&L works. You won't be able to understand how taxation is going to work. You won't be able to understand how the cash flow is working. So you have to be very good with accounts, very good with your bachelor's degree, and also you have to understand the industry. Otherwise, you won't be able to analyze. You see the cost is moving double from last month, but you will not know if you don't know what happened in the company or what happened in the market. So gaining market knowledge, gaining industry knowledge, gaining company knowledge, and also gaining the accounting knowledge is very important for financial planning analysis. So I would request everyone, as I requested earlier, keep an eye on the industries, what happening in one industries. Keep an eye on your educations, like you understand financial, you understand balance sheet, P&L, cash flow. And as soon as you get into any companies, more than work, understand the business first. You have to understand the business, what company does, how company earns money. Then only that is the starting point to start your financial analysis journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Manu, how important do you think certificates are in getting recognized by Big Four companies today? Do you suggest any specific course for taxation?
So for any of the Big Fours to get into, I think if we have like now, as I told you, like Alteryx and Advanced Excel will help you to get inside. But to be a competitive person with, as I told, with a CA, you have to be at least EA. It's called as enrolled agent. And one more is CPA, that's Certified Public Accountant. So EA is more basically about US taxation, US markets. That in CPA involves like international markets as well as US, Germany, Australia. All this comes in this picture. Okay. Once you complete your 10 years or 15 years in the US taxation or in the taxation field, once you have the CPA with you, you can have like a freelancing by yourself. I have seen many of my managers, senior managers who work with us. They started their own firm, or they're separately doing their own freelancing work whenever they like to work. So that's I tell you. So CPA and EA are the more important things for US tax or for taxation. Once one want to do a taxation, these two courses are very important. Apart from that, to get into get into any Big Fours, so more of like strong financial skills and strong advanced Excel might help, and also use of any of the Alteryx and the Power BI will help you to get into Big Fours.
Thank you, sir. I have a question for Shrikant, sir. What skills are necessary to become an equity analyst?
I think you need to unmute, sir.
Sir, you're on mute.
Okay. So I was just saying, in my beginning of my career, I was an equity analyst for 3 years. I actually set up an equity research for a company here in Mumbai. Those were a long time ago, where we had to collate all the information from the stock market. And those were the days when we used to send a floppy disk, because we used to deal in floppies then. We would send a floppy to the stock exchange, and it would be the prices would get updated at the end of the day, which we would update in our system and inform our. But the thing is that it was that time it was very, in those days it was very difficult. Now it's very simple, yeah, because information is there, just so much information. All you need to know is how to analyze it. So coming back to, if you want to be an equity analyst, it's more of analysis. Data is easily available. Okay, so that is one part has been very one part has been taken care of. You can look up a company and take all the information you can easily get it. And now the next stage is you have to start analyzing it. Now, the thing about analysts, it's very easy to say I'm an equity analyst, but these days it becomes a little more specialized. You need to identify areas in which you can be good. So you can select some areas and get into those areas. So it can be different industry segments. So it could be service industries, or it can be manufacturing industries, and so on. And then you need to collate information, and then you need to put it in such a manner that you can compare information. So it's basically, you need to have the ability to look at all the data, not just numbers, but you have to go behind the numbers and see what the management is all about, their track record. You need to see the growth prospects. You need to then be able to compare companies and rate companies. Now, a lot of that work has already been done such work is already being done by many. And then once you do that, then you should have a very clear objective as to why you're doing it. So just analyzing companies, that is not what matters. That can be done by anybody. Any finance background person can do it. More importantly, you should have a focus as to what the purpose is. Is it for a takeover? Is it for a merger? Is it for investment? Is it you already invested? You're trying to get out of that investment. What is the purpose? I know someone who had invested in some 25 different companies, and he says, I wanted to trim it down. And now the question was, which one does he sell? So you have to analyze it. And if they happen to be in different industries, then you need to have knowledge about all those industries. And if you don't have them, you have to learn to draw on experience of others who are associated with that industry. I don't know if I've answered your question, but the main thing here is you learn to analyze with a clear objective. So why you're doing that analysis. Just analyzing companies, won't help. You need to have a focus as to why you're doing it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I request all the speakers to give us some advice on how to get suitable finance internships.
You're talking about finance internship, is it? You're talking about?
Yes, sir. Finance internship. Suitable finance internship.
Okay. So the companies like MCX, yeah, we provide internships, but there's limited numbers. We're not very large as an employer. So we just have about 400 employees, but there is always a churn. We are always looking for fresh blood. So that is, you have to contact companies and find out. You should have a list of companies which normally take people every year. Trying to connect with your audit firms is a very good place to start. The main reason here being that every year they require a fresh intake, because the seniors they pass and then they move on, and the information, the methodologies are being transmitted to the new groups which come in year on year. So when you join, your seniors will be teaching you, and so in your turn will come eventually. So every audit firm in India will or does require interns. Okay, so that is one place. Now that is assuming that you want to go into this particular line, that is audit field. Okay, if not, then if you're just talking about finance, like you said, then you have to touch base with the corporates and find out how many interns they take. So you should have, I'm sure that your institute has got probably a cell, or you may be having a placement officer who would have a list of corporates which recruit on a regular basis interns. Other one is that when you go out to do your summer internships, that time you should try and make your place there permanent, so that when you finish, they'll say, yes, I want this person back. Okay, so that is another way of doing it. Okay, thank you. I perhaps this particular question would maybe answered better by my colleagues, who are the other panelists.
Okay. No, you have answered everything, Srikant. We are saved. No, I think that, as Srikant mentioned, right? So not every corporate hires interns. Like my current company doesn't hire interns. We have to make the list, which all the companies usually hire interns, and there are many companies who hires lots of interns, and there are many companies the seats are very limited. When I was Oracle's interns count was only 5. So just make a list and just give it a try. And if you see my profile that I have working on any of the companies, let me know. I'll try to help as much as I can.
Can I just add on something here? Sorry, Manu, I think just to give you a minute.
Okay.
So I actually didn't want to say this because that's not the platform for that. The Commodity Exchange, we have a certification program on commodity markets. The reason why we have this program is because it was mandatory for people to pass this examination if they wanted to sit on a trading terminal. Okay, so that was mandated by the regulator. Now, what has really happened is, because the commodity markets have grown so much, the broking firms who are our members, so every exchange has got members. So we have about 700 members. So like you just mentioned, Zerodha or Anand Rathi or Relegare, we just name them. They're all our members, and there's 700 members we have. Now these members, they have broking firms all across the country, and the requirement is that they need people who have knowledge on commodity markets. Now they come to us, they come and ask us, can you tell us the people who have taken this examination and gone through this certification? We would like to recruit. Now we cannot do that because we have a trust between the academic institute and the exchange. We have built a trust, so we will not reveal the name of any institute. What we do instead, we give the name of from the education institute, the placement officer, and we ask the placement officer, we ask that broking firm to connect with the placement officer. And if there are anybody who is interested in joining that company, it is between the placement officer of the institute and the broking firm. So we have been doing this, and this had happened just recently, just 3 months ago. So in the last 3 months, this development has taken place where the exchange gives out the name of the placement officer to the broking firm so that they can pick and choose students who have undergone a certification program on commodity markets. And these are all, they become RMs, that kind of job, or brokers, or they can trade on on their platforms. So these are the kind of jobs that they have. Okay, thank you. So I think Manu can come in. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think usually Big Four doesn't provide any internships. So yeah, only Deloitte, Hyderabad, they provided internship for students. So that's why I checked leadership. I think post-October, we don't have much work for US taxation. Maybe in January, we might get a lot of work coming, and also get a lot of get clients coming on January. So I'll reach out to leadership and see if they can offer any of the internship opportunities to our students. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now the session is open for question and answer. I request the participants to post the questions in the chat box or unmute and ask questions if any.
So there's one question here I can see. As it says, what is the role of a financial operations analyst in a commodity market service firm? Okay, in the commodity market service, what you're talking about, a service firm, this would be, there are different, I'm not sure which service you're talking about. If it is a broking firm, then the kind of, the work that you would be doing would be a lot of compliance work. Okay, so there's a lot of compliance work which gets done, a lot of reporting to the exchange, and then eventually it goes to the regulator. So if you're looking at the other kind of market services, now when you talk on commodity markets, we also have, when a commodity contract comes to an end, we move into the physical market, okay, which means that the contracts are then, when they expire, a person who's holding on to that contract at expiry will have to give delivery or take delivery. So he's moving into the physical space from the instrument space. In the instrument space, he's buying and selling a contract. Contract comes to an end, you move into the physical space. Now, when you're talking about the physical space, you're talking about the warehousing. Okay, they are service providers. Now we do have something called WDRA, Warehouse Development Regulatory Act of 2007, and in 2010 it became operational. Now there's a lot of work there for analysts, because there's lots of data which are pertaining to stocks which are there. So it's about stock management mainly. So just to give you an idea that as things are progressing, warehouses across India, they're all being linked electronically. Okay, so those gone are the days when the government did not know as to what kind of stocks were lying in a warehouse across the country. Many a times they used to be hidden to create artificial shortages. Now it is becoming more and more difficult, because when people go and park the goods at warehouses, they get something called electronic warehouse receipts. And there's lots of analysis which is going on based on that. So you have commodities lying at different warehouses, different parts of the country. That data is available for analysis. Okay, as a financial operations analyst, depends on who you are, whether you're working for the government, because there are lots of work there for the government agencies, or whether you're a private service provider. Then you will be dealing in the commodity, the daily movement of commodities. Okay, so all your cost accounting comes into play here. All your FIFOs and LIFO comes into play here. Okay, so the warehouse man, we call it the warehouse man, the person who's in charge of the warehouse operations. Okay, it is a very professional position right now, unlike in the olden days where there would just be one person looking in charge of a warehouse. So there are lots of things, I'm sure Vikram Paul can tell me something from the agri commodity segment regarding warehouses. Do you deal with any of them, Vikram?
Yeah, we deal with lime. We deal with sargoon. So that you're talking about the stock and sell model, right? When you stock and sell. Yeah,
so there can be many different models that can. Yes, this could be one of them. Yes,
we do a lot of stocks, and then a lot of warehouses in India, a lot of warehouses in Australia, Vietnam. So there are many. And you are right that warehouse man is no more that dhoti wala man. That's becoming a very professional person now. Very professional person, and he has to be well educated, well technically skilled to become a warehouse management person.
Yeah. So there's one more. Any questions? I mean, I think we have to read through. There's something on taxations, I think.
What is the question? How does the day in, day out activities look like? Sanction screening analysis.
No, that is Manu has shared to the students that where they have to learn what for the role.
Okay.
I think we have a next question from Pavitra. She wants to know about the role of sanction screening analyst and what is a growth.
I think I don't have any comments. I have no expertise in this area.
Screening, sanction screening. Okay. So basically, I am not very sure from where she's coming from. So the person who's asked this question, if you're talking about if something has basically the focus is on the word screening, okay, which means choice, choosing the best option that you have. So if something has been sanctioned, and basically how do you sanction something? Then you say, how do I choose the best out of that? So I can only connect it with something that we do with procurement. So when we are doing some procurement for the company, we have to have a process in place based on which we screen as to who gets the contract. So companies have their own methodologies put in place. For example, when we have a requirement, we need as a policy within our company, we need 4 different tenders. Yeah, so 4 different options, 4 different suppliers. For example, we need to take their inputs. And then there's a methodology for analyzing it. And it is not purely based on money. Okay, so it is based on the service they provide. So we grade it. There's a pointer system. We give points to the finance, cash, the financial aspect, the service aspect, the service provider's reputation, and his ability, his past performance, and so on. And based on that, we screen and we identify who will get that particular contract. Yeah, so that is, I think, I'm not sure, like I said, what was the lady who has asked this question. I'm not sure where she's coming from. If maybe she can throw some light on what she has in mind.
Yes, Harish, you can continue.
I have one final question to both the speakers. I have friends from a Bachelor of Engineering. They usually hesitate to opt for finance specialization since their background would be checked during interviews. So my question is, if a BE student opts for a finance specialization, will they be considered for a finance related job?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt.
You go to any investment banks, you will see all IIM peoples. I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, I am Calcutta. They're all engineers from IITs, engineers from BITS. So, but they're doing finance job. And even in my company, the people are in hedging department, the people who does the hedging. They're all from all the engineering background and does the finance courses. And then now they're into hedging. So they're basically engineers. I still go and learn some of the codings from them, but they do absolutely finance job. Hedging, risk management, everywhere is engineers.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, I request you to answer my one final question. So what skill sets this finance students or students who are looking for finance career, they have to develop at this stage? They are in their first year of MBA. So do you suggest any specific skill set they have to work on and develop?
So, see, there are 2 things here. One is the core knowledge, the basic knowledge of the different subjects that you have. Those are generally the same all over. You will have accounting, you'll have economics, you'll have business management, you will have statistics. This is something that you find everywhere. Okay, what is really required from my experience is that I find that students might be very good academically, but I have always felt that many a times I find that students are not, they don't open their mouth, they don't talk, they don't ask. Okay, at the level of MBA, you need students who will question. Okay, now how do you develop that? One thing is that I'm sure you must be having projects. You must be doing, the students must be doing projects. Okay, so and you should have various projects running right from the beginning, and every project should have teams, and the team should be different for every project so that they will interact amongst themselves, and they don't form little groups within themselves, and they stick to the same group. So you need to have a method in place where students will interact, at least while they're students, with every other student within the group. So for doing that, you have to give them projects, very short projects, uh, needn't be very long ones. When you say a project, it can be something that can be completed within a week. The idea is not about the outcome of the project. The idea is to make them develop skill sets to talk, to interact, to negotiate, to discuss. That is what is required. I go all across the country doing awareness programs, and one thing that I find, students do not open their mouths. They might just be one or two. Other than that, they don't open their mouth. They feel that if I say something and it may not be right, someone will laugh at them. Or they feel that if I ask, someone will say, the guy sitting next to me will say, you didn't know this. Why did you ask this silly question? Now, normally, I think what you should do is you should keep a prize for the silliest question. Okay. And you should actually encourage people to ask. It's very important. People have here, and there's a big difference. I'll be very frank with you. We do programs for MBA colleges here, right in Bombay. We do it in Bangalore. I've gone and done it in Coimbatore. Bangalore is far better than Coimbatore. Coimbatore, they don't open their mouth. Here in Mumbai, they don't allow me to speak. That is a difference. Okay. Now the point here is you should get people to interact. I think that's the way to go about it. As far as the content is concerned, I don't think you will be lacking. I'm 100% sure. You don't have to worry about the content. What you need to do is you have to get them to that level where they will speak and ask and question. Okay, so sometimes you can even give them some wrong information and make them and see who will identify that something is wrong with it and question. So for example, in one company that I know, every company, you have your emails, they keep getting bombarded with all kinds of nonsense. So I know a company which gives a prize if based on how many emails I did not open, which turned out to be spam. In other words, they're basically trying to get students to develop the skill to identify an email just by the look of it. Okay, right? And then they give you a award for it. They give you a prize for it. So the point is you have to think out of the box. Okay, you have to think out of the box and see how I'm going to encourage them. Okay, right. I think others might have something to add to what I've said.
That was interesting and informative, sir. So what about Vikram, sir? What is your take on this? What kind of skill sets you suggest our students to develop?
No, I think Srikanth is well explained. The communications, right? Communications is very important. You need to stand, you need to speak. Doesn't matter who thinks what and who says what. Just stand and speak, stand and ask. And the more questions they ask, the more learning they get. I go and ask questions in all the floor, full floor. And people sometimes think, why you are interested in engineering? Why you are interested in this? I said, I'm just interested. So I think people has to stand and speak and ask questions. And MBA first year, I think people are still deciding which field they want to be. So I'll not suggest any particular skill set because that particular skill set will be a particular field. So let them get specialized and let them get their interest built in third semester, and then probably they can go for any of the certification, any of the skill sets. That doesn't take more than 20-21 days.
Thank you, sir. I think we have extended almost 18 minutes. So now I think I request Ms. Neha to render the vote of thanks. The session was very interesting, and hopefully our students, for our students also, it was very useful. It will help them to decide that which career or how the finance career will be if they decide to opt for finance specialization. Thank you so much. I request Neha to render the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Department of Management Studies, Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, I thank all the speakers for taking time out of their busy schedules to interact with us and for providing insights. And we are sure that today's session has given our participants an in-depth understanding of opportunities in finance and will help our students in choosing finance as a career. Thank you again. I also thank our principal, HOD, Dr. Hemalata Madam, and our management for organizing such a wonderful webinar. And I also thank all the faculty members and our wonderful participants. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, Srikanth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'd like to have
Thank you,
one more
ma'am.
session on commodity market and also
Yes.
interact with. We'd like to know, because we were just looking for time has gone beyond 4. So
Okay.
we don't want to take your time. So
No, we can have a session some
Yeah.
other day. and we can
looking
have-
for one more session, Vikram Paul also, so that he
Sure,
can
sure.
directly address the students in detail.
Anytime. I believe, ma'am, if you can arrange something in face-to-face, probably it will be more impactful.
Yeah, please. We are welcoming that also. But nowadays, after the COVID, people hesitate to come to institutions. So we thought like better conduct in Zoom.
No, I survived, so I don't mind to come to institute, and that way I can visit Dayanand Sagar
Yeah,
after a long time.
Sure.
So are the students coming in every day now?
Yeah.
They all start.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. Yes, sir. We will be having
you.
a lot of interaction in future also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.